Good evening, everybody. This is Clay of the Wolf Den 808, again with another episode of L5R. Tonight, our guys have completed the Topaz Championship, have become the Topaz Champions, something not done with two people. They spent the last 3 months in Otsusan Uchi, training to become Emerald Magistrates, and traveling to the Crablands. Their assignment has not really been given to them. The Emerald Champion has said that they have spread their wings a little bit down in the Crablands. So they're going to have a night at the wall, or a few nights at the wall, to bring that training home. Also, they requested to go to the wall. So their request has been answered. I'll turn it over to my two players. Guys, if you want to introduce yourselves and get started, we can, whatever you guys want to do.
Sure. Andrew Napier playing Ide Kempachi. That's a name change from my old Kabichi when I became the Ultimate Man and took the Topaz Championship. Former Moto Bushi of the Ide family. However, now prospectively upon request to the Emperor and his Scorpion aide, I have asked if I could be allotted time to train with the Bayushi, and the request was answered. Now, Kempachi, and I will lay this out there for anybody watching, has an ulterior motive. He's doing it not only to learn a little bit about the enemy, but also to settle a blood feud of a Bayushi that he goes long back with that once killed his father's horse in an attempt to steal it.
And I'm Justin, and I'll be playing Miramoto Void Dragon, and he's atop a Gaijin horse currently, and his hair is floating in the breeze, and he's spent quite some time in introspection since the championship some months ago, and he's ready for the change of pace on the wall, and he's eager to hone his mind, body, and spirit into the fine tools and implements that his father would like him to possess.
All right. Very good. So our samurai, along with their two Yojimbo and two Etta, make a small caravan and making their way down to Crablands. They're about a day off. They're cresting the hill, and below them, again from the distance of where they're at in Hida Castle, they're cresting over this hill, and they can see off into the distance Kunhida, Castle Hida. They see the Kuni wall just stretched out. They've been seeing the wall for days as they've been traveling. And they see a small village that they're approaching closer at hand. If they want to make good time, it'll be about a 6-hour travel. But again, it's getting dark, and traveling at dark is not always a good thing in these lands. But I will leave it to our samurai as they approach the village of Promise. Okay, gentlemen, as you guys are coming down that hill, you see probably a village of 300 to 400 people. It looks like they're looks like a training camp for all intents and purposes. But you can't see what they're training for. You see a smithery off. As you get closer, you see the smoke. It probably has 3 or 4 smiths working at this time of night. And it looks like they're closing down. The sun is still up, but slowly cresting the lower end of the sky. And as you guys are approached, you're not stopped. There are no patrols that come out and stop you, but you know as you're approaching this village that you have been seen.
Now, Kempachi is wearing his the Topaz Champion armor. Are you wearing it as well, Void Dragon?
I would imagine so, yes.
Oh man, we're gonna be 2 slick motherfuckers coming into this camp.
And also atop this Gaijin horse, donning my Topaz Championship armor, I've also got my Daisho, which is now the twin sisters blade of the Miramoto clan or family. And yeah, I would be very keenly observing what any details I could garner from this village as we approach. I'm interested in that smithy. I'm wondering, just from the little I've heard of the crab, they're almost certainly working away at making armor en masse, but I'm interested to see what weapons they might be crafting as well.
And as you guys enter town, think of it, you're coming from the southern end, the village is to the northern end, and it's kind of like an upside down shoe horse, excuse me, where the village kind of creeps around. And as you guys are coming, it looks like the center of the village is where they've been training. You see posts of varying sizes. You see quite interesting cross beams on some of these posts, and hanging there are boulders. And it looks like there's a pit around some of these pillars. And you can imagine, the two of you can probably see it in your minds, as people are training by hitting a tetsubo across these borders and making it swing just very slightly. Some of them easier. As they get smaller, it's easier to hit, but it's harder to hit as they start to swing around. And it looks like they've just finished a training exercise. We see no women, no men, but you notice that the homes that are here, the shops that are here, look like people are inside. You guys are about just probably where you're at the center of the horseshoe, at the legs of the horseshoe, and that is when a group of 3 men kind of walk over to you. Think of like a moving small hill, as these 3 small hills are moving towards you. And as the light dims, again, the village hasn't lit up. It looks like they're going to go without lights outside. These men approach, and you see that they're wearing heavy crab armor. You see the one in the center, looks like he's totally bald. He doesn't have his helm on, but on the center, he's got a huge, looks like an Alaskan crab with the crab legs all reaching out towards his enemy. And as you look closer, it looks like that he may grab an enemy or somebody and bring him towards, and those legs are sharpened enough where they're actually weapons. It's you've never quite seen most people use it. I mean, it's quite sturdy. They won't break off easily if he brings someone close. The other 2 are smaller men, top knots, dirty. It looks like they've been training. The one in the center, oh, he looks at your armor. He bows low. Greetings, Topaz champions, Animal magistrates. Miyamoto-san bows. Ide-san bows. Welcome to camp. I am Hide Hoen. My Chewies. And the 2 men step forward. I need to introduce them at all, except for Haruma-san and Haruma-san. They bow and then they kind of walk off. It is an honor to have you here. You notice that he's kind of struggling with the etiquette of what to say.
It is an honor to be here, Hite.
Will you press forward or stay the night with us?
I'm gonna look at Void Dragon and shoot him like a uncharacteristically menacing grin, and say, "Well, Hite, for myself, I was thinking that depends on how quickly you can get me out to patrol that actual wall."
Hidehoen. Eager. That is good in an animal magistrate, to be eager to look at the greatness of our wall, to care about what happens beyond it. Come, let me gather my kit, and I'll take you to Kunhida. And then he leads you guys further in. You're probably the 3rd or 4th house on the left. Again, it's that upside down shoe horse, or horseshoe. And as you guys are looking, no need to make perception checks. It looks like every house has got kill holes and whatnot, and you notice that as soon as you guys are kind of cresting over, you're being watched. And you see movement on some of the houses. Some of the houses are square. Some have the typical Rukugan architecture, but some are squared enough that they could have people up there, archers, and other artillery that they could throw at you. He leads back and opens a door, asks you to enter. Enter. As you enter, you see a small home. You see a woman wearing crab kimono and whatnot, and a small child. And she kind of stops and bows really low once you guys enter, being who you are. She looks a little disapprovingly at her possible husband. Dear, says, I am going to report to our Lord and bring his honored guests to the castle. And she kind of just nods. She then bows really low again. I am Hida Suni. Can I? And she kind of, are you hungry? Would you like something to drink? All right. And she bows again low, a little embarrassed that her house is not in order. The baby, and just staring at you. He's probably, I'd say, under a year as you're looking at him. He whines, stares at you, and he starts to point, make a fist, point again.
I'm gonna like kneel down and like get pretty close to the child. I'm not gonna touch the child, but I'm gonna get a little bit closer to the child, and I'm gonna say, "It's a boy."
Yep, he's a big, healthy boy.
I'll squint a little bit, and I'll say, "Well, my word, I haven't seen a spiritful eye like that in quite some time. This boy seems to have the visage of a mighty warrior."
You see the woman turn and says, yes, he will make us very proud. He will fulfill his duty on the wall. What is your... go ahead and give me a perception check there, Kampachi.
Okay. Keep 3. So it is 24.
Okay, you see it coming. You see the little boy reaching out for you. You're still fully armed. Are you wearing your helm, all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you get your full defense, which is?
It'll be 30.
Okay, he's no longer in the area. You see him, he swats at some of the head dressing that you have. Looks like he's trying to go for one of those horns on your head, and he's climbing out of his crib to kind of, he's rolling his fat body up and like a turtle, and now he's on his front, and he's like picking himself up, trying to climb, and he's touching you, he's grabbing at you. You have the chance of letting him do so or stepping back. The mother has not seen it yet. She looks like she's preparing food, even though you guys have not requested it. It looks like she's going to provide food or possibly some refreshments before you travel on to the castle.
So the kid has touched my armor already, right? He's touched it.
Yeah, unless you want to dodge it. He's basically, he's kind of laying back, and you kind of got close like he said. And so he just like got all excited, and he kind of threw himself forward, and he's going to catch himself on your armor unless you back off. And if you don't back off, he's going to start climbing. Looks like he's really excited about your horns on your helm.
Ooh, this is a tricky situation, because I'm not so much worried about my honor. I'm worried that this woman's gonna self-flagellate herself, upset that he's touching the Topaz champion like this. But I think for the boy, I'm gonna give him something to aspire to. Fuck it. I'll let him climb on me and go for the horns.
And as he's climbing, let's see if he can actually... Ooh. Yeah, unless you stop him, he made it over a 10. So he's climbing, and his little fingers are getting all in the grooves and stuff of your armor. And he doesn't mind. He's like grabbing your faceplate, and he's kind of climbing up, and he's just focused on those horns. And that's when his father comes in. You hear, fuck! And he kind of scoops in and grabs his kid and kind of pushes his kid off to the side, like he's a wall of his own to protect his kid. Ide-sama, I am sorry for what my son has done. I take full responsibility. He's about right when Daddy got him. He was just touching that horn, just like in his fingertips. That's when his dad snatched him before he could get his prize.
I'll say, it was no insult at all. In fact, I'm rather amazed. Your son is so straightforward and aggressive for his age. It's impressive.
Yeah, he passes his son off to his wife. She bows really low. It is a Hida thing. When we see horns, we either attack or we flee, but Hidas do not flee. And you see the boy kind of in his mom's arms. And then he notices Void Dragon, and he looks a little more probably demonic in his dragon. And he's like, "Arr!" And he's like just kind of flailing. And you hear he kind of shits himself, and that's when that whiff of smell kind of comes. And she's like dumbfounded that he just kind of, but he's still reaching out for him.
And although Void Dragon has been silent since entering this domicile, there is now a growl coming from him as he's been watching this female prepare the food. It's quite a low and timbersome growl, but it is coming from his empty stomach. He's quite famished from being on the road. But if need be, he will use some evasive footwork to avoid this little hellion.
Yeah, he can't reach you through Ide and then his dad, but he looks, he's excited, like he's got that, think of like a kid with too much sugar. He just kind of shaking looking at you. Excuse me. And then the mom will bow low. Mirumoto-sama. And she kind of excuses herself unless you stop her. Hide will turn. Koen will, again, my most sincere apologies for the actions of my son, but again, it looks like the fire is in him.
Oh yes, I suspect he'll wrestle a grand life from the grips of Rokugan.
You honor me. He then turns, and the wife kind of comes back, and then you kind of hear little feet pitter patter, and then you hear and then it's probably gone behind that paper door. And you hear as this probably little kid is trying to pick himself up and fall back. Again, his wife lays down platters. Please eat. You must be famished on your travels. There'll be another couple of hours before you reach Kunhida, and you may not get rest there, depending on how exciting the action is tonight.
Ide will sit down to some food, and I'll take off my helmet and like sit it down on the table beside my food, my plate, and I'll say, if it is all right with you, perhaps I could be a little bit more casual in our conversation. I hear the crab are pragmatic people.
For a moment, it looks like he's getting offended at what you're about to say, and then speaking plainly is always good. I'm sorry, but I do not have the silver tongue for court. That is why I'm here training the young. Best training is on the wall, but sometimes we need engineers and others focusing on our equipment. This village is built for testing of weapons and soldiers that need remedial training. The wall is a very unforgiving place, but we cannot just throw our boys there. And you hear the wife kind of usher him a little quiet, like he's saying something he shouldn't. Not everyone agrees with me. So, my lord has allowed me and a few others to start training here. This is a training village.
You said that there's opposition. On what grounds do they oppose the training of the youth?
Our Jinpakus are usually granted to our young before they're even samurai. The wall tests everyone. As soon as you're old enough to hold a weapon, you are there on the wall, defending.
How old enough to hold a weapon? How young are these soldiers?
For this training camp, let us just say they range in age, but I think they're smarter than just fodder for the wall. And then the wife kind of places out a bowl in front of him, and he catches on to what she's trying to say. Let us speak plainly. Not everyone agrees about my methods, but I'm going to prove them wrong. And he kind of breathes a little bit. He says, you are going to be tested on the wall. You are not crab, but you are the Topaz champions. And if word is true, there's something, fates, the kami smile upon you. I believe that not everyone is as gifted in war or whatever their duty is. And some of them require more help. A lot of the ones that failed yet weren't killed and have honored their families and came here. I have the rejects. And he says with pride.
Oh, this is like a major pain situation.
Yeah, kind of. You haven't really met. Again, now that you're looking, it looks like yeah, it really looks like a piss poor village that was set up, but it's not really a village like you were taught. Now you're thinking about, as you guys saw the sun and everything, this looks like a high school military kind of thing, training. And he probably looks like one of the drill sergeants that are sitting out there. And he's the only man and wife that you've seen, and the village is quiet. You don't hear any of the normal stuff going around. You do hear some patrols possibly in the distance. You just can't tell.
So I can see this man. He's like trying to really make a hard sell on me. I don't know if he expects me to be like a doubter as well, but as he's like giving me the spiel, I'll just nod with him and I'll say, Hite, you don't need to convince me. I think I know more than most that the lives of the crab are valuable. I've seen firsthand that the crab don't get the respect they deserve for what they do. That's why I'm coming out here to the wall myself. Is because I want to know. I want to know the sacrifice the crab make.
If you stay long enough, you will. He kind of straightens up as you kind of praised him a little bit, and you haven't put him down. Again, his station is probably a little higher than yours for what he is, his position. He's probably a chewie, a lieutenant, or a little higher. But since he called his other guys his chewies, you probably think he's a captain. And they probably just gave him this assignment for whatever reason. Your Scorpion way of thinking is he got fucked over, or he fucked over someone that he couldn't fuck over, and this is all blatant. But the obvious thing that hits you, Miyamoto, and you, Ide, when your Scorpion mind is not, when your Unicorn mind kind of puts it on, this guy had probably opened his mouth enough, and he's got enough pull that they brought in the rejects. And they probably gave him a squad or a group of men, anywhere from young boys to those that really didn't pass. Maybe they ran from the wall. Maybe they dishonored themselves. Maybe they're just the walking dead. You've heard that term before. But again, you haven't seen any of his recruits. Again, he breathes in deeply. Unless you guys speak of anything else, he eats in silence. Food is brought to you guys, hearty bowls of rice. Some fish is brought out. And for you, Unicorn, it looks like they've got some meat, some venison. Usually you wouldn't see that, but again, these are big guys. Even the wife is pretty big.
I'll look at that and I'll just smile ear to ear and say, "Ooh, you do me honor. It's been a while since I've had a meal that looks as good as this."
You notice that the wife, she kind of turns, but you know that you made her happy. He grunts and digs in. Again, they don't hang on too much formality since you've asked them not to. So he kind of digs in. They're eating. He's using, his chopsticks and whatnot, but he takes a big handful and starts to eat. If you feel then you won't need to roll. There, Void Dragon. Not to say anything is the best course of action, not to bring it to his attention or even to bring it up that he's doing, but he's kind of being embarrassing.
I won't say any. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Justin. It's you.
I won't say anything, but would it be likely that his wife is serving us our courses and stuff, or do we serve each other or ourselves?
The wife is doing it. It looks like that they always have food on hand, and this especially, you need to eat all the time. So it looks like the wife is serving you. She's serving you sake.
I was just going to say, I would have, without saying anything, silently, when she went to serve me, tap with perhaps a chopstick or a utensil the sake cup first. And that's all. I'll imbibe sake quietly.
Okay. If you were a drinking connoisseur, you notice that at first they bring out a bowl. She feeds you guys or gives you drinks that are not the same as the husband, and that's when you look. It looks like the husband is drinking soju, and you guys are getting the more expensive, more flowery drink, i.e. for, I guess, guest that you would assume. but the husband is sucking down some soju, which is the cheap stuff.
I would definitely breathe in the aromatic flavors of this sake before and during the imbibing of it.
You're served as well, Kampachi. Again, dinner is held. It's about a half-hour, 45-minute affair. He's done within 10 minutes. Everything's cleared off his plate. He's ready to go. He's still donning. He's still fully armored up. He then waits, and he sits there with you to enjoy any talk that you guys may have. The wife continues to feed and treat you. Again, bowls are brought out to wash your hands afterwards. They didn't expect it. Looks like he's armored and armed, and it looks like nothing was said when you guys came into his home armed. So unless anything happens, he excuses himself to prepare for the travels, and you're left alone with his wife.
I suppose when done imbibing the sake and eating some of the servings, I would put my helm back on and fasten the chin strap and return to a at least somewhat more formal state, although my long hair is hanging down below my helmet onto my scaled armor.
Sounds good. And you, sir?
Yeah, I'll do the same. I'll put my horned helmet on.
Okay. No need to make any rolls. After a while, probably he's been gone for a few minutes. You can hear him probably outside the house getting his tack ready for his horse or his pony, getting ready. And that's when you feel something at your foot underneath. You see a small table where you guys ate. You kind of kneel down to eat there, and you see something like touching your knees. You both feel it. And as you guys kind of look down, you see that little kid, and he's kind of just swiping at you. And it looks like he crawled himself because he no longer has his diaper or anything else. It looks like he crawled from his room that his dad probably left open, and he's still climbing at you guys. But now he's more like a worm, and he's kind of drooling on himself a little bit. But he looks determined to get at you guys, and he's kind of swiping at your knees. But the table kind of keeps him down enough. It keeps kind of hitting his head, so he can't really get any purchase to climb on you. The mother has not realized that has happened.
Void Dragon. Maybe we should get some air.
Agreed. And I'll stand and back away from the table, take a few steps back.
As you guys get up, you just see him wiggle. I mean, he's not strong enough. He might be able to stand for a moment, and then he'll fall. But he's wiggling his belly and his chest, and he's trying to get after you guys as you guys step away. And just the exertion of probably he's been doing it for probably an hour. And you kind of look over, and the paper in the door has been, you don't know if it was licked or anything, but it was like torn away. There's like a hole where he probably flopped out of. And he kind of just, he's so exhausted probably after all the work that he's done. Again, the mother's not seen this, and as you guys kind of step outside, are you guys going to leave?
Yeah, Kenpachi will.
Okay, you head outside, you and you, Void Dragon.
Yeah, certainly. I'll take a step alongside Kenpachi.
And that's what you hear as you guys are walking out. Kito, man, you're worse than your father. I'd train you up if I could. And you hear, whoop, as he's probably scooped up. And she's just berating him. It's like, you hear, ugh. And then he stops. He hasn't cried once. It just seems that he's determined, and she's lovingly scolding him as you guys are outside. And as you're outside and you kind of see the town for what it is, as they were talking, you see all the pits that they were probably training in. You see probably different stands of what they would jab weapons into, you know, some of the poles that are in the ground. And you see some lights. And as you're gauging it, again, no need to roll. You probably think there are probably 60 people living in this village. It's built for about 300 to 500. A few moments later, the heat will come back. Gentlemen, if you are ready.
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. Go ahead. As you guys get ready, it is just your group. Your group has kind of stopped as you guys were asked to come inside. Utaku Sakura, your girl, is just kind of observing camp. You probably know, if you know her, you've known her kind of in the past a little bit. She's a little older than you, I imagine. She's probably circled around the village a few times on horseback to kind of scout the area as you were okay. Your Tamori is also there with your two Edda, and they're just waiting calmly. Nothing's being said. As you approach, they nod.
I'll just observe them in the peripheral, and it's probably sort of my typical behavior around them, which would be more or less approving, but dismissive at the same time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, is he waiting for us to get on our horses too, basically? Saddle up?
Yeah, he brought his pony over.
Yep, I will. I'll jump up on the old Gaijin steed, and I want to do it with a little bit of flair.
Okay, go ahead and give me let's you want to be dramatic about it. We'll go reflex horsemanship as you're trying to, however you're trying to leap into the saddle. He is a stone trying to climb on a turtle. He gets on it, and you see the pony kind of just But your turn.
Ooh. So 14, 13, 20. 34.
Go ahead and describe how you show off to the Hida.
So I'll walk over and reach underneath the horse like I'm picking something off the underside of its mane, and I'll grab underneath the saddle and yank myself around and flip over onto the other side of it.
Very good. His eyes open up a little bit as he's amazed you can get that heavy armor through the belly of the horse and not scratch it or injure its legs.
And I'll just like shoot him a little bit of a smile once I got on the horse's back and say, "Them Gaijin steeds."
He kind of looks down again, and there's so many hands taller your horse is compared to his pony and his size, and he longingly looks at your horse for a bit. Yes, great cavalry. Shall we begin? And he leads you guys off. It's a well-beaten path, but he goes very slow. And it looks like he's got a fishing pole that's got a lantern tied to the end ahead of his horse, and you guys are traveling so that he can see the area. You probably know that he could do this without light, but again, it's kind of dangerous to ride at night or evening. You guys have just crest where it got dark.
I want to give like a bird whistle that Utaku knows is my like flank me. So I'll like whistle out to her on her horse.
Okay, she'll perform the maneuver how you guys want to go. So just give me an idea. So Hida on his pony has kind of gone forward. Who's going to follow next?
On either his left or right, Void Dragon's happy to be in the lead of the procession, and probably somewhere a lot, maybe a horse or two, or behind him is Tamori and the Ida as well, or Etta.
Yeah, your Edda are running, so you know not to go at a very fast pace, or you'll leave them behind quite quickly. And that is up to you guys. So you want they're carrying your stuff. You've got some saddlebags, Rukugani saddlebags, but they're carrying the majority of other things between them. Your other items will be shipped over, but since this is not where you're going to be stationed for a while, it could be anywhere from a week or a couple weeks. So they haven't really brought all your things. And as Emerald Magistrates, you guys go where you're ordered to go, so you really have no home base yet except Otosan Uchi, which is the capital. So you guys travel for about 3 hours, and it is really dark. You notice that clouds cover most of the skyline. Hida keeps waving that thing across. And go ahead and give me perception checks with investigation. Or just a raw check, if you would.
Uh, 24.
Would that be awareness?
Perception.
Perception? All right. Okay. So for both I have, for perception I have a trait of 2. So I rolled 2. I got 2 ones.
Sounds great. So nothing gets you guys. Ide, you just sense movement. Think of you're walking in the woods and you're kind of new to these woods and you sense movement all around you. Again, you see this big blackness coming way ahead of you. Excuse me, which you know is Kuni Wall. It's just this big black wall ahead of you, and you're nowhere getting anywhere closer to it as you travel. But around you, again, you're kind of going into an open plain area that has some trees, but again, it's open, and you hear movement, things moving, twigs breaking. The Hida is looking around as this happens, kind of like a tactical drill. He keeps looking around and moving forward. Your horses are fine, though, so you just get an eerie thing that you're being watched.
I want to pick up a little bit of a trot and come up closer to the Hide so I can say something to him.
Okay. Not a problem.
And I'll say, Hite, that sound. Predators?
I'm not sure. You should always be wary when you're near the wall. A day from it, 6 hours from it. We've been traveling for 3. Who knows what could have gone by. And you kind of notice that he's looking around. I don't think there's anything to be worried about. We'll just keep going. Our patrols would have, he's kind of looking around, would have said something. But he's on more alert.
Okay. Not totally convinced. I'll drop back to my original position and say to Utaku, we might want to be on extra guard.
She'll nod. And she's looking around as well. Not being blatant about it. You're probably thinking she's looking with her peripherals through her visor. And she's got her lance. She's all down to fight. You guys are going fast enough that the Edda are keeping up. But upon talking to Hida, he starts to kick it up a little bit. Just slightly. So you know that your Edda are going to have to pace a little faster. And they may not be able to keep pace for the next 3 hours.
Is one of the Eddas more out of shape than the other?
Let's see. They're both young, 16 and 17.
How far do I think we still have to go?
Upon looking at the maps that you've looked at and everything, I imagine you guys have done your due diligence and studied what you could, and kind of what he said. Riding, you probably got another 2.5 hours. At this pace, maybe 3.
All right, I wanna 2.5 hours, maybe 3. I'll say to the Idas, like very quietly, because I don't want to spook stuff that's like watching us or anything. But I'll say, we're making a good pace. You guys are doing good. We keep at it. We'll be there in 2.5 hours. We'll get a nice rest.
Probably the oldest of the 2 are like, what? But he didn't say anything because he doesn't want to make you mad or endanger his family. But he raised his eyes a little bit. The other one is, yes, sir.
I'll turn my head at this little son of a bitch that's like, what? With his eyes, and I'll say, have I ever steered you wrong yet? Come on, have a little faith.
Yes, Ida-sama. You are most generous. And he bows low.
I mean, look at me. Topaz armor. You're in good hands. Come on.
Yes, Ida-sama. And as you guys travel forward, you're about an hour and a half outside when this should occur. What I need is perception again, and I need to know if you kept the formation you are. Hida has sped up a little further as it's gone. He sped up a little further. So what I need from you guys now, this is part of your perception roll. You see him, see the light, and it's getting a little further ahead. And you guys are, unless you keep up with him, you're going to leave your Edda behind. Or you can kind of break in the middle and be between the two of them. It's really up to you, but go ahead and give me your perception checks first. Then tell me what it is you're going to do.
I'm going to stay closer to the Edda. Don't even need to see my roll.
All right. I'll say more in the middle, trying to be the connecting dot between the fleeing or the leading crab and the Edda farther behind. And I got 10.
Got a 21.
Okay, so you guys have pulled back. Void Dragon, are you sticking around with Mpachi? Or are you going to stick up more with the crab?
Closer to the crab, but I guess leaning towards the middle. It's not if they're.
So you're going to be between the crab's here. You're going to be in the middle between the crab and Mpachi.
Yep,
and Mpachi's kind of slowed down enough. Your Yojimbo's right next to you. He's gonna with kind of the things that have happened. He's gonna stay kind of right on your 6, but he'll go off to the side. You're ambidextrous. Is there a favorite arm that you use?
Yeah, left-handed.
Okay, so he's going to stay on your left side behind you, so you can easily draw, and he's not in the way. So he's probably just going to stay behind you. So if you turned around, he'd be still behind you, staying behind you, guarding your 6. Mpachi, your Utaku, she's right there next to you, behind you, as you've instructed her to be. The Edda are Hufflin and Pufflin. What did you get in perception? I know Void Dragon got 10. What did you get, sir?
21.
Okay. Neither of you guys see this. So what's going to happen is this. We're going to do 2 groups. We're going to do right now until stuff happens. We're going to do Void Dragon and the Crab, and then we'll do Mpachi and Edda. So go ahead and give me initiative for you guys, and I'm just going to say your cohorts, or not cohorts, but your Yojimbo will go on the same time as you guys. But they're behind you. Go ahead and give me initiative.
$21-ish.
Okay. Mr. Void Dragon.
It's ridiculously huge. There's 2 explosions 1 second here.
Okay. If it's above a 30, then you're going to be going first.
Yeah, it's over 38. It's 36 or something. It's 41.
Okay. You feel movement coming around you. You see the lantern kind of going forward away from you. But you feel movement to your right as you're kind of going with the crab on your right side and on your left. And you see Khan is looking around. Fuck. And he's kind of reared his horse in a little bit. Again, he's only got one of the Rukuguni ponies, but he kind of rears it back to get a look around as it looks like it's starting to panic. So as you are the first, I will begin with you. Can you give me a horseman check?
Sure.
Now, do you want to do it with flair or brute strength?
Brute strength and maybe willpower. I don't know. Like, yeah.
So normally it's agility. So that's just to stay on. Some guys who ride horses, they choke them. That's where you're just grabbing that rein and you're just physically bringing that horse down, saying, you'll listen to me. But your horse is starting to panic, so you can try to use it with agility or strength. If you use strength, it's possible you could hurt your horse. I'll
go with agility.
Okay.
Then I can use my Miramoto ancestry. A cube 4. $42. Now, it was an incredible roll, but I have that Miramoto ancestry.
Not a problem. I forgot to give you a 10, so you could use raises if you wanted to be more showy or whatnot. But you easily rein it in, and the horse, you know that this horse has been well trained by the unicorn, so you're able to bring him in, and he kind of settles down. But your Jimbo's pony rears up and bucks him off the horse. He's unable to maintain. You hear as he kind of falls back, and he's on his back, and his horse basically is starting to shoot out phlegm from its mouth a little bit in its fear, and it probably bit down on that bridle, and it looks like she's going to bolt, but I'll do that at the end of the round. We will then go, Miramoto, you're able to stand on. Is there anything you want to do?
I think Void Dragon, he'd check his flanks, this weird fluttering in the outside of his field of vision, and seeing his Yojimbo go down. Maybe I'll do these flank checks, but I'll take a look back. Is Capici and the other group, are they in complete darkness now? Because the lantern was with the other guy on the other side of me. Can I see them at all? That would be my only action, just trying to get a milestone.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. If you get over a 10, you can. If you want to call raises, I'll give you more information.
I rolled before calling a raise, but I did get over 10. I got 16 here.
Okay, so I'll just say that you did without raising. You can see their silhouettes, and you can easily, your training and everything is gauged. You can see Sakura, the Utaku Battle Maiden, or the Utaku. You see Kenpachi there. You really can't see the Eda through the bodies of the horses, but they're kind of, it looks like they're going forward, but they might be suffering the same thing you guys are suffering.
And
I think can't really tell.
I think that's where my action would end, and I'm just contemplating whether or not to get comfortable within the saddle, or to take roost upon my own feet on the earth. So that'll be my turn.
Sounds good. Kenpachi, it's your turn.
Okay. Do I have to roll for horsemanship too, or am I good?
Nope. You and your Utaku need to roll for horsemanship. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to give you the same thing. You can use agility, which it's normally associated with, i.e. staying a horse while it's starting to move around and trying to gain control that way. Or you can kind of do a choking maneuver where you're bullying your horse by pure strength. You're using your bridle, your legs, and you're bringing your horse into command. You know, a lot of people in the unicorn don't use their strength because they don't want to hurt the horse.
To reroll that one. 7, 9. One more. 10. Ooh. Okay. 26. 35.
Easily put your horse to rest. However you want to do it.
Yep, I'll just start clicking at it with my tongue as it like comes up on its back legs, and start doing a half semicircle with the horse to kind of like look back at the Idas.
Okay, you kind of look back, and you notice that the Utaku, it looks like her horse is starting to act up a little bit, but all she does is kind of rub it on its ear, kind of go out the tip of its ear and rub it a little bit. He settles down right away. You've seen that kind of thing in the past with the Utaku. You know, they are bonded with their mounts, as they say. The Ide are a little bit excited, but they haven't gone yet. But they're looking around. They've kind of put down your guys' gear, and they're kind of looking around.
I will say with a simple action to the Utaku, protect the Idas, and then I'll take a second simple action and guard the one that was the most nervous.
You see the Utaku kind of just throw her lance, and that's when you realize it's not a lance, it is a naginata, and she just kind of threw off the wrapping. And it kind of shoots off in the darkness. and she looks like she's going to listen to you. She moves over to into a protecting range where she can get above them or strike them down if something should happen where they some foulness happens and they attack. So she's there to protect them, but you know that she'll probably strike them down if they do anything stupid. What are you going to do? You've got your horse settled. I'll allow you to do something else if you wish.
Do I see any of the threat with my eyes?
Go ahead and give me another perception. I'll let you roll. Target number is 25. Extra raises will provide more information.
Let's do 2 extra raises.
Target number is 30.
All right, I'm going to use a luck point.
Okay.
I'm going to use another luck point. I like to get some of that juice, man. That's a good one. All right. 35 on the dot.
Okay. You're looking around. You're still on horseback. You're controlling your horse, and you're looking around, moving your horse around. And that's when you kind of notice, you see the Cooney wall off in the distance. You see that darkness. You see that lantern moving. With what you rolled, one of your raises go towards that. It looks like the Hida is sitting stiffly in the saddle, not naturally. Normally when you're riding, especially as long as you guys have been riding, he'd look a little more comfortable because his back and his ass are probably all sore from the saddle, but he's riding really stiff, as if he's not moving. It's just, so there's something weird about how the Hida is moving, and he's not stopping. His pace has not stopped since this whole weird ordeal has happened. Second thing you realize as you're moving about, it looks like the ground is moving, and especially in your area, coming from the village where you guys were at and kind of surrounding you in a way as you look, and you see small black movements, like a moving carpet coming your way. It looks like, think of an area rug, a 20 by 10 foot area rug that has spread out a little bit, and it's kind of going, it looks like it's going to wash over you guys. That's when you realize that they're rats, and it looks like they're swarming the Edda, and it looks like they're going after your horse, Utaku's horse, and a small contingent is going after the dragon in front of you. They kind of broke off.
Do I have time to speak before they get on the Edda?
I will let you speak to say something before they get to them. Your Edda knows something's happening, but you caught it just, you see shadow within shadow, so your eyes are kind of picking things out, and that's what you picked out. The Void Dragon is looking in your direction. You know that he's looking in your direction. So you can say something to the Edda, to him, or whatnot.
I'll yell, how many words do I get at? Is it
five? As long as you want. Be dramatic. You can be dramatic. You can't give like orders and say, okay, you do this, and you can just give out your dramatic spiel as this thing is about to, the wave of rats are about to wash over you.
All right, so I see the wave of rats coming, and I realize that the Hita is probably dead because he looks like he's rigor mortis in his saddle. So I turn it with like a startled look on my face, so you probably can't see it very well, Void Dragon, because of the darkness. But I yell back at you, "Rats!" and attempt to draw my scimitar.
Okay, easily done. And then this action happens. The Edda and the rats go. Okay.
Now I do have guard on my one Edda, so that'll increase his TM by 10.
Okay, and your other will be between your girl. So, okay, the one you are guarding, I did not get. The one the Itaku's guarding, and those rats. Ooh. I did get. And kind of like in the Mummy movies, as the bugs are climbing up the bodies, you see these rats kind of, not the one near you, but the one near the Itaku. You notice that they're, excuse me, kind of climbing up, clawing up, biting themselves up, climbing each other. This is like Willard movie, just as they're going up this body, they're biting into this guy's flesh. And he yells out, "Ah!" But he's still standing. They're just swarming him. What is your TN? What we can do is if you want to protect your horse, we'll use horsemanship as the target number, kind of like defense. I will give you a defense roll using your horsemanship to provide the TN while you're in the saddle. Since you're no longer, you don't have a school ability that allows you to protect your horse, I'll let you do that.
I'm down for that. Should I still take the 5 TN penalty for guarding the Edda?
Correct. Okay. Basically, you're swatting down with your scimitar, providing cover as these guys are climbing up, doing no real damage to the rats, but you're making sure that they don't climb up into vital areas onto the person you're protecting.
That's a good one. I get to reroll that.
You can spend Void to lessen the damage. You can do it to increase your TN, all that good stuff if you wish.
3, 7. Okay, so this would be... It would be... Does this get added to your normal TN, or does it replace your TN?
This is going to replace the TN for your horse. Your horse's
right, I'm using luck. Okay. My horse was about to be toast, man. Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Actually, I'll do it like the defense roll, so I'll let that add to the target, the armor of your horse.
Okay.
So you can choose. I'll let you choose to use either. If the first one was good to add to your target number, I'll go with that. We'll just use defense. That your horse is using defense. We'll just say.
Yeah, I'll go with the first one then and save the luck.
Okay.
So it would be the -5. It would be 42.
Okay. Rats try to get onto your horse, but you're easily able to guide your horse around, still providing cover. But you've seen show horses and stuff. They're just kind of trampling in place as she's trotting in place. But they're not able to get up your horse. Here's for your Taku. I'm going to get her ass. She'll do the same thing. Okay. Her horse is starting to get bit. And as that wave kind of comes on, you think, rats could be, you've heard all kinds of things of rats. They carry diseases, different things. You have medicine, so I'll let you they could have diseases. This is going to be very painful. You could save them. That's when we'll turn and break away to Void Dragon. Mr. Void Dragon, just say odd or even for me.
Odd.
Okay, you're the one being attacked then. As this wave comes up, it looks like because you were looking around and you're prancing around and you kind of turned back, your horse is now facing your friend. So your partner, your Yojimbo, kind of turned back. He's still behind you. So you're the wall before they get to him. And he's right at the last second, your horse starts to trample a little bit. I'll allow you to use your horsemanship to add that number to his defense, i.e. I didn't have you guys call stances. So your horse is it's trained, so I'm going to allow that to happen. So go ahead and give me a horseman's check and add that to the defense for this encounter.
$34.
Okay.
That's added to my defense, though. I guess.
Your horse's armor. So that's easily 34, 44, 49. It easily goes because your horse has got its own target number, its own armored, and your horses are armored. They are unicorn crap made, so they do have armor, which is 15. So they're going after your horse. So I'm adding your horseman check to their armor total for this encounter. So now it's back on top. Void Dragon, you now it looks like there are rats trying to climb up your horse.
I think I'll urge my horse to pick up the pace, and I think what I'm going to hope is like that the pace of going a little faster might knock some of them free or loosen them from the horse. And I want to close some distance. I want to get up to this, the leader, the guy with the Hohen or with the lantern. That's what I'd like to do is get up with him.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a free horseman check. Go ahead and give me a horseman check. Target number is 20.
Okay.
To stay, you're kind of urging him pretty quickly to go after the guy. So 20 will get you over there, and you can still act.
Uh, 27. So I get over there. I get up alongside him, and he matches this description. He looks hunched over in the saddle, like stiff as a board.
Yeah,
Still?
his back is all stiff, as if his back is bolted to a board. And as you get close to him, his eyes are kind of glazed over, and he's holding he's standing tall, and it looks like he could just easily fall off his horse at any time. The horse is trotting forward,
So,
but his eyes are open. But you can tell that through through his helm, and he's just kind of.
I'll try to take the reins and the lantern stick, and then that'll pretty much finish out my turn, seeing what happens there. But also, I'd like to just look back and see whether or not I've gotten away or loosened from the grip of this wave of rats, and also how Khan might be doing or faring.
Okay, you're easily got away from the rats, and they're not pursuing. It looks like Khan, his last instruction was to follow you unless you want him to do something else. You can't have him do something else. But it looks like he's going to kind of trample around there to keep them occupied while you do whatever you're doing. But he's backing up. He's not going to face him. It's stomping him, and then he'll back up, trying to stomp him.
Good. Yeah, I'd expect him to be a protective shadow, and that would be my turn. Is I'm trying to get him into my possession, the lantern and the stick, I guess. So
okay, what we can do, if you have jujitsu or any hand-to-hand, that would be the thing, or you could try to wrestle it, which will be just a straight strength check.
Yeah,
but if you have jujitsu, I'll let you use that as well.
Yeah, I don't have jujitsu, but that's definitely I'll use the strength. I'll try to wrestle from his grips.
Your strength will explode on this roll. You're just going out to grab it. So the base target number is going to be 10.
I did get one explosion and a 2, but the explosion got me an 8. So 18, 19, so 20.
Okay, you got a hold of, basically you slapped your hand right on the bridle, so you got control of the horse, and then you kind of reached up and you got control of the lantern. And nothing happens. The horse, it tries to move, but your horse doesn't give it any leeway, and your horse is stronger. So the horse is kind of fighting, but think of someone in a sleepwalk. It doesn't do anything. It kind of stops after a while. And then we will, that's your action. We'll turn to Kenpachi.
I'm going to, while I'm swatting away at the rats with my scimitar, still trying to guard the Edda, I'm going to yell to the other Edda as well, both of them. Attempt to double mount the horses! And I'm going to reach down and try to grab the Edda and pull him up on the back of my horse.
Okay, upon saying that, you are getting stared at by your Yojimbo disgustedly. And it looks
That's
like
an order!
If I roll a 1, she's going to disregard your shit because you're stinking up her horse. I rolled a 2. It looks like she's ready to strike him down with her Naginata, this thing that's trying to climb a horse, and she'll try to assist him on getting up. How would you like to assist?
Strength.
Okay, if you have jujitsu or there are other fighting styles, I'll send you guys some more stuff. But if you have hand-to-hand, I'll allow you to use that or just a pure strength roll. I will give you a free raise, being as he's trying to help you get up. But the target number for you, because he is panicked and he just clawing his way up, is going to be 20.
Okay. Let's do it. 23.
Okay, yeah, he scrambles up. It looks like he's trying to get in front of you. Are you going to allow him in front, or are you going to allow him behind you?
Whatever gets him on the horse faster.
Okay. He kind of like a sack of potatoes. He's just scared enough. As soon as he's in front of you, he kind of just goes limp. So just think you got this human laid over in front of you as if you kidnapped him. Let's see if your girl can do it. I'll lift this guy up. I'll just say an average 3 for it. Damn, she rolled 2 10s. Okay, she gets him up. And she does throw him in front, hurts him a little bit, probably on the horn of the saddle, in front of her. And she's waiting for your instruction as her horse is kind of tramping around again, not giving the rats enough purchase to climb yet.
I'll just whistle and snap the reins and start taking off towards the lantern light I see in the far distance.
Okay, give me a horseman check. That'll be your action this time. Again, for you and her, it'll be 25 starting number. If you want to do something fancy, you want to increase the speed and get over there faster, it'll be higher. It'll be a raise for each, but base number 25.
Now, that a question: do I see like the rats coalescing, leaving like a small path we have to rush through? Is that like how I would anticipate the situation?
Yes.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna do a race. I need to do it quicker than normal. All right, so ooh. 13, 4, 7, 3. Okay, so I got a 37.
Okay, you easily go ahead and describe how you had any way you want to get over there. Be all fancy, but you get over there to you ride right up behind Void Dragon.
I just I mean it's very just straightforward, like a jockey. I'm standing like lurched forward, just pushing the horse to its maximum capacity, and I narrowly weave between like this Z-shaped lane where there's no rats as they're like converging. And as I do, sha, I look over my shoulder to see if Otaku's gonna make it or she's gonna be set up on by the rats.
She makes it behind you. Again, she's very skilled at horsemanship, but she does not take it easy on her rider, i.e. the guy in front, and he is bruised around. Looks like he's about to slip off and fall, and she's just holding on to him by his top knot as she's riding forward. She's got, it looks like she's riding with her legs because she hasn't let go of her naginata in her right, and she's holding this guy's head by her left, and she's riding forward. But it looks like she's got to drop something. So as soon as she gets to you, she kind of reverses her naginata and shoots it into the ground and then pulls the guy up. She followed to listen to your instruction and not harm him. She's going to let his ass go and not do that to her weapon, but she's breathing heavily. You guys do not have any rats around you. You do hear the movement of the rats, but you guys both, or all three of you, decide to take off pretty quickly. And you and your Jimbo are there, even the dragon. He's kind of pranced around, and he's there. He sped away after you guys got there.
Well, there's going to be one final action. I'm absolutely going to join them in our getaway. But right at their heels, I want to take the pole with the lantern and just smash it down into the earth and the path, hopefully providing some sort of a fiery barrier, at least if only for a few moments to make our escape, although it might be futile now that we will be escaping into darkness.
Okay, so I'll easily, since you're back on top, we'll just say that it's like an incidental. You easily just, since you had control of it. And as you guys look, before I imagine you guys are leaving, you guys all go before them. That lantern lights up just enough, and you see eyes and eyes of rats. They're probably 10 feet coming towards you guys, and they kind of slow down at the fire. You guys can stay. If you stay, they'll kind of go over the fire, but you've got them enough where they stopped, and they're kind of looking at you and the fire dancing in their eyes as you guys can continue forward or whatever you're going to do.
I think I would want to go forward. I wouldn't want to go full gallop if it didn't seem necessary. If it looks like we've got the ability to just leave with a little bit of haste, I think I would, because if possible, I'd lead on this horse with the dead, or the stiff fellow with his eyes still open, who I just relieved of the lantern's possession.
Okay. Do you guys take him with you? Again, he's still kind of sitting board straight in the saddle.
Yeah, I'm not certain if he's dead or not, so I would lead the horse if possible by the reins still.
Can I medicine check him?
You'd have to get away before. If you decide to scan him and stuff, those rats are going to get over their fear of that little bit of flame as it dies out, and they're going to
was without like looking at his body, could I do just kind of like a general medicine check from what I've seen with the rigor mortis? Could I be like, is it possible for someone to go stiff like that on a horse and even be alive?
Not when he was talking with you guys. No, you don't even need to roll. You know that it's not naturally possible.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go with the status quo then for the moment. I won't say anything.
Okay, but you know he's alive. You hear him breathing.
And depending on how dark it is, we might even be like relying on the horses to just take us forward.
Okay, so if you guys want to kind of get ahead a little bit, go ahead and give me horseman checks. Void Dragon, I'll need yours is going to start at 25 due to the fact that you are trying to bully the other horse to follow. The rest of you guys, unless you're hauling ass and stuff in the dark, it's going to be 15.
So I'm at a 28.
Easily done. Your girl and your Jimbos easily follow.
Oh, shit. Another spectacular roll, 41.
You easily commandeer this horse to follow, and after a bit, it just follows you because your horse and you are the dominant. You guys get a ways off. How far do you want to travel?
Like I would be inclined to try to get, I want to cover some serious ground. I want to get to our destination, but not to the destination. I'm going to put the Eddas back on foot before I think anybody will see us.
Okay. About 20 minutes as you guys are not really trotting. It's less than a trot, more than a walk. That's when Hida Horan starts to talk. He says, the item has been taken. 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 And he's kind of doing it as a mantra. Come south. The item has been taken. The item has been taken.
What kind of witchcraft is this, Void Dragon?
And I'll look to the formerly rigor mortis fellow in his saddle, and I'll wave my hand in front of his eyes. Does he still seem sort of just locked in trance, just like his chant?
Yeah, but as you guys have kind of stopped and whatnot, he but he's chanting that and he falls off as if he's stiff as a board and he just kind of falls and crumbles. He's still breathing and you hear that, come south, the item has been taken. Come south, the item has been taken.
So this doesn't feel like, not that I'm skilled in medicine, but it doesn't seem like this guy's got like some sort of lockjaw or tinnitus from a rat bite. Might I suspect something with the kami or some shugenja practices? Might I?
You can. I'm going to. You can use Sukenja lore if you've got it.
I do.
Since you don't know what this is, it's going to be a high TN.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll. It's going to be a blind TN since you've never heard of this.
I've got Shugenja lore too. Can I assist him?
Or you can roll. If you want to assist him, I'll give him. Go ahead and give me a roll, and at 15, if you get a 15, I will give him a free raise. If you call raises, every raise you call and you succeed in, I'll give him a raise. But if you call raises and fail, then you totally give him the wrong information.
Well, I rolled. My roll was 3, keep 2, and I already rolled it. But should I add more dice to it?
No, it'll be free raises, Justin. Just hold on to that number, and we'll see if he can help you. Because you guys are kind of both looking at it, and that's when you guys will kind of cross back and forth. And since you initiate it, Justin, he will be saying things, and it'll make click if you get it. It'll raise your.
I'll go for 2 additional raises. So 25 TN. Oh, I failed it. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to use luck. I was going to say I'm going to fail it by 1, but I'm going to use my last luck point.
Okay.
Ooh. No failures here. 27, 35, 37.
Okay, Justin, you can add 15 to your total.
That is awesome because I had a 24 if it was a 25 TN. So I had 24 before adding that. 15, did you say? So
15, yeah.
39.
So that's 39. So as you guys are piecing together, it's still harsh. You have in your talks with Sakenja and different monks and on the topics of magic, the varieties of magic. Sakenjas, there are spells. You don't know specific ones that can do this, but it looks like someone is using him to speak. But what really gets you, and just being in the area that you're at, it's possible that a ratling has done this.
So
That they have some kind of magic, but you don't really know. You just remember reading something about a ratling being able to do this, and Sakenjas can use the kami to do this as well. It's almost like a possession.
So I don't have any particular skill with cartography. I'm pretty sure there's like an institution that does that all on its own. But I know I would have been, or Void Dragon would have been interested in obtaining the information before traveling the realm to get where these temples are, because he every so often along the countryside, because he'd want to pray there. But would he possibly have seen what might lie south betwixt the location they're going to on the wall and the little makeshift camp or military camp they were just at? Like, is there any peripheral knowledge I might have of what is south?
If you travel south from where you're at is the Kuni Wall. Further south is the Shadowlands.
And we're headed to
the Kuni. You're heading to
a checkpoint
Kunihita.
on the wall.
No, you guys are heading towards the big boss's castle. Hida Kasada, the Crab Champion's castle. His is right there. So he's you guys are to meet him. He is the main daimyo. You guys are going to meet with him because you're going to show him honor and introduce yourselves. Again, you defeated his champion, his clan at the Topaz Championship. Excuse me. So your assignment was to head down there for a banquet. He's hosting your winning. The Hida family that was there, being as you guys have said you'd be there. So basically, they kind of pulled some strings, and this is going to be a big party. The Crab are hosting the Topaz Champions. Plus, you guys were wanting to meet the wall, so it's going to be a big deal. You're going to be showing the wall. But further south, there's shrines everywhere for the different kami, the fates, the ancestors. They're everywhere. But further south, again, you don't have too much knowledge of the Shadowlands. Unless you do, and then that would be a different role. But the Shadowlands are ever-changing.
So still waving my hand in front of the trance-like figure that's chanting about the item and going south. I'll say their mysteries seem to be in no short supply tonight. This message that he keeps repeating, if it's even him saying it, do you think he... Excuse me. Sorry, I had to cough. Do you think he is implying south as in the wall, or possibly even beyond?
I honestly don't know. Guess it could be anything possessing him. Maybe if we get to the castle, we can ask for a Shugenja. Maybe give us some insight.
Agreed. From the limited knowledge I have of the Crab and their Shugenja, I think they're the ones to speak with for anything south of the wall.
I'd say to be a little bit more adventurous, but without a real light source, I think we'd be signing our own death warrants.
Mayhaps your Jimbo need not double, and we could have the Eta double with this man to keep him from falling from the saddle again.
And as you guys are saying that, you do see Hida Horn kind of shift, and he's like, oh, he grabs his head.
The sake may have gotten to you, my friend.
He's looking around. He sees you guys kind of on your horses standing above him. Your Jim, you guys kind of, the way I see it is you guys kind of boxed him in. Your Jimbo are next to you guys, but they're kind of boxing him in as he fell. They kind of, if they could strike him down, because if he causes a problem, it looks like they both thought of the same thing, that they'll strike him down to protect you two. The Ed are kind of a little further back. You guys are further enough that you know that the rats probably haven't caught up. And he kind of just looking around and breathes, what happened?
We were beset upon by foul creatures of the night. They arrived in torrential waves, these small fanged rodents. They nearly got the best of our subordinates as I motioned towards the Etta off in the flanks. And you seem to enter a fugue-like state, rigid as a plank. And we thought possibly even on the approach of death.
I don't understand.
I'd offer
Do you guys
you a
explain
hand.
the rats and everything as he kind of gets himself up? He starts to stand up, his big 6'1" frame.
Good. There's plenty of strength in your crabbed legs. I was afraid you might need further help, but you should be able to lead us on.
He kind of looks around. Is that all that happened? As I went into some type of trance?
You were babbling as well. Seemingly.
Shadowlands. He starts to talk. Kampachi, do you have Shadowlands lore?
Yes, I do, because I have Sage.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
I have theology, but I doubt that applies.
That won't apply to this.
So 27.
Okay, he starts to kind of talk to himself. You guys kind of both hear it, but you're able to pick out a few of the words. And he is talking about a rattling, and he starts to make like chipmunk noises as he's talking. And your Shadowlands lore is he's actually speaking Mizuzumi, rattling speech. And after some time, it does get a little frustrated. And again, that noise appears. And you guys are kind of in a more wooded area. It's kind of open, but it's more wooded. You could use trees to add some shelter and whatnot. And it's open, but there are more trees. It's more trees in this location. And he starts to chuck and just make rodent noises. And you kind of hear that. You guys are still on your horses. He is not. He's kind of making it loudly as he's kind of stepped out of your circle. Your Yojimbo do not want to let him out, and they're kind of looking at you guys for instruction.
Hite, please cease with the rattling speech. Jump on your horse.
He turns to you and says, what happened to me seems to be name speech. And he kind of, but no tongue should not have been doing that. I cannot bring no tongue to court. And he kind of looks at you both. And he's like looking at like he's going to confess something. Like someone that's been kind of caught. What do you guys, but he's taking a deep breath like he's preparing himself to speak to you about something. What are you guys going to do?
I would hold up my hand and I'd say, hold on, think about this. You just got off your horse. You were possessed. Make sure you really want to say what you're about to say. I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, because this is both clicking with you guys as part of your duties. Not the rat thing, but possession, possible weird magic. You know, this is kind of goes into your thing, possible incursion into the Empire. He breathes in. He says, how much do you know of our rodent friends, the Izumi, the ratlings? And then you hear that, and you know that they're coming. Think of the spiders from The Hobbit. You just hear that.
I know that they're coming, Hite. We got to go. We can talk about this at the castle.
He kind of stops. My mother. And he stops and he looks and he says, they won't harm us, but we should show no fear. I must speak with no tongue.
Oh, I've got a couple Ida back there that would disagree with you.
They may have gotten excited, and he kind of, you notice that he's really, really sheepish about saying more, but I don't know what's wrong. Normally the communication is not like this. And he kind of turns and says, I cannot bring them, or him, to my lord's castle. Not all crab honor the Ratling. They are our allies, but again, some are fearful.
So what from the standpoint of an Emerald Magistrate, like I know we're new Emerald Magistrates, but how suspicious does this sound? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Your scorpion ears pick up that this is a 10, but you think that you rolled high enough that the crab do make friends with the Ratlings. For some reason, they can travel. They are natives, probably to Rukugun itself, but they can travel the Shadowlands and probably got homes in the Shadowlands. Again, the magic-wise, you guys didn't catch everything. You think it's some type of magic what happened to him, or it could be something else. Your readings, your studying is Ratlings are kind of like humans in a way. You know, they got a hierarchy. Some don't agree with working with humans. Others do. They fight the Shadowlands. Of what you've read, the things not to be mentioned, i.e. Shadowlands stuff, is really risque to speak about. But again, it is on your personal preference. Since you really have no real experience dealing with it, it's really, you're new to it. So it's, do you trust this man? Fearful? What is it that you guys want to do? But he seems to have stopped his breathing slowly, and it looks like he's going to walk through your Yojimbo to it looks like he's going to he's facing the oncoming horde, which sounds like it's coming circling around you guys as you're speaking. It's kind of, but not as many as there were the first time.
Oh, Void Dragon, I don't like this, as I start to turn and pull my scimitar.
I think as he walks by our Yojimbo towards the amassing horde, or the chittering sound, and I see Kampachi begin to reach for his blade. I would just wheel my horse around in step and motion for, I'm sure my Yojimbo, Tamori Khan, he's been waiting for the final symbol or signal for the death stroke, but I would give him actually a sign to get back in the saddle.
Okay. He appears to be going, following you. Utaku isn't paying attention, and she's got her Naginata ready to stab him right in the back. But you know that she'll probably give him warning that she's going to do it. She's not just going to stab him in the back. But he looks like he's the danger. So she's waiting for your instruction, but you know that she'll probably do it without you telling her if you don't stop her.
I'll look at her for a second. I'll say, Utaku, what's your opinion?
Damned if we do, damned if we don't. But if he's brought danger to you, it's my job to eliminate that danger. That's when Hida looks over his shoulder at her and sees that gleam of that Naginata really close. And he just kind of, and he kind of just staring at her. And the blade is kind of like almost at his, you know, probably a good 6 inches from his eye. And he's just staring at it like he's not worried about it.
We're surrounded, Otaku. That's not going to do anything at this point. I think we better see what the man has to say.
Okay, so what I need from you guys as this happens, you see a light start to kind of glow coming from where you go, the village where you guys came from. What this is a fear check. You may add your honor to the overall total. The fear check is 25.
And is that willpower?
This is a willpower check. So it's going to be a raw willpower. 10 is 25. To resist, you may add your honor. Your honor rank, not the blips, but your honor rank.
14 and a half.
That's with your honor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 29 with my honor.
Okay. Here is, I'll let you roll for your guy. Your dragon has 4 ranks of honor. I will give him a standard 3 in his willpower.
Okay.
Is that the same for Otaku too?
Yes. Utaku has actually, because of who you are, she's got a 3.5 honor. She kind of a hothead.
19 with honor for Tamori-kan.
Okay. Roll the hothead.
23.
Okay. Your Ide kind of fall and they kind of wither. They're like, ah, as they kind of back away, but kind of the lights. You see Master Splinter walking towards you, but instead of robes and stuff, his flesh is kind of exposed. It looks like he was in a fight. Master Splinter in a fight where he's got flesh kind of hanging a little bit as if he's been cut up and stabbed. It looks like he's missing an eye. His whiskers have been kind of torn from the left side of his face. And that's the fear check, is this creature looks like it should be dead. And in its hand, you see its hand kind of glowing a little bit, and it sounds like it's mumbling something. You guys are going to be suffering a 2K0 to all your die rolls. Just because you guys are there, I'm going to allow you guys to remain, but you guys know you've embarrassed yourselves, those that failed it. So there will be a penalty to honor later in the game for this because you show signs of fear.
What was the TN for it?
25.
All right, so I made mine.
Void Dragon, you're standing there, but it is bothering you. This is a disgusting creature that has just come out of the darkness. And just like it's just, you see the rats kind of behind him. They kind of open up as he stepped through them to get to you. Again, think of Master Splinter coming, but he's got his hair and flesh cut. You can see his tail kind of over on his shoulder, and it just kind of limps down on his side. You hear tongueless. What are you? Tongueless. And you see the crab moving forward towards the creature. And what will you guys do? You guys go approaching, staying where you are. The rattling is probably 25 feet away from you. So what would you guys like to do?
Frozen in the saddle, seeing what happens as he's making his approach.
You hear the squeaking and squawking coming from the two of them. And you see it looks like the creature's about to touch Hida. And it looks weak. It looks like it's been through like hell. And from its mouth, you see that its tongue, its teeth, especially where that big ass claw mark was, it looked like it ripped out its top jaw and its bottom, just ripped it, tore it out. It still got some on the other side, but this guy looks like he's just moving on will alone. And you hear in your head, it has been taken. You must go south. Yeah. And then it kind of falls. I will disperse. And then you hear the click, 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 click as they talk. And you guys get a kind of a picture in your head, and it hurts. And you see, think of a desert with red sand. And in the center of this desert is a bowl of sand. It's like a bowl. The landscape is made out of a bowl. And in the center of the bowl is a village. And the village is covered in webbing. And and you're seeing this as a third party, as if your eyes are seeing it, and you're on top of a ball, and you look over and you see another ratling next to you. You look over, you see two more next to you, and it looks like you're ahead of the rattlings. And you kind of look in your hands. Think of video games, you know, and you see your hands as rattling hands, and you see this, and you see three individuals. You can't tell what they look like. They look like crab, and they're leaving the valley, and you see this huge spider, this massive spider. As they left, you see this huge, massive spider kind of exit. It looks like a temple or shrine, massive black, almost amethyst, and it just looks, and then it looks up at you guys, and then enters back into the village that has been wrapped in spider webbing. And then you look back and you see those three. Now you can tell they're big crab warriors, and a weird looking warrior that you've never seen before in white. Why you would wear white? And then that kind of comes, why would you wear white in the fucking Shadowlands? In your head, but you're hearing the chittering and chattering instead of speech. And then that vision is ripped from you, and you see, and then you know that you were Toothless is your name. And then you look back at the creature, and the creature falls, and the rats disperse, and you know that creature had died, has now expired. But the rats, they chitter out.
I'll turn about on my horse and look at Void Dragon and say, "Did you see that too?"
I'm afraid I may have, and I'm sure it's through gritted teeth, as I'm very clearly scared and terrified at this ghastly image.
What was that they told us back in Imperial training about commandeering troops?
Yes, I would feel much safer surrounded by a legion or three rather than these hordes of scampering beasts off in the darkness.
That's when the Hide comes back, and you notice he's got blood on his face. That's where this creature kind of touched him. Excuse me. And see if he's smart enough to realize kind of what you guys, by what you said. He says, I didn't catch all of what you may have caught, but part of Nizumi's abilities, some of the older shamans, is they can communicate with mind speech. Some have the ability to call upon names and curse those around them. Others, there's all kinds of abilities. I know you are Emerald Magistrates, and and that's when it clicks into your guys' head. This isn't enough to go on if you wanted to start kicking ass. You'd need more. Or they think you got possessed or tricked or whatnot. And as he's talking, this is kind of clicking into your head that this is, again, how are you going to approach this with Casada? How are you going to do this? But basically, in your head, something was taken. You saw three samurai but could not identify them other than they were wearing crab armor, except for the one that was in white. That there is an oni of some kind of demon spider out there. Where they're out there, you don't know. And you don't think that Hida got the overall vision you guys did. He probably got something else or something similar. You know, think of a VHS tape that has been really old, and just think there's three copies and you each got a copy of it. So your visions may not have been fully the same. And the rats have dispersed. The fear goes away from you guys that are suffering from fear, because the rats are gone and the rattling is dead. And you know, the Hida is he's almost devastated. He's showing that how bad he feels. He turns back and he commands your Edda to dig a hole. You guys can stop it, but again, you're in Crablands. He does outrank you, but again, he's taken hit by commanding your Edda to do his bidding, and they snap into it unless you tell him not to. That creature saved my life more than once, on the wall and beyond it. He was my friend.
Yeah, I'll just look at my Edda like on the fucking double.
Yeah, they snap too, even the one that's bit up a little bit. And you guys are there again, probably for a good hour. Again, you feel that you're being watched. And as you look, you see probably 5 or 6 rats kind of grouped off, and they watch. And if you kind of approach, they break off. And during that hour's time, they come back. Or you think they're the same group. Different locations, you see them. But there's 6 to 7 rats. And after they bury, you see the crab. He kind of starts to almost like a Mongolian hum. He just said, oh, and he starts to sing about the wall, the honor beyond it, and protecting your family. He then pulls out what looks like a tanto, and it's made out of some weird bone. He kind of lays that down, and they start talking about it and whatnot. And he pours a little sake down, and he says, "I will take you to Casada now. I must inform him of Toothless's death and my inability to protect you along the voyage. I do not know why Toothless attacked or tried to get our attention this way, but he was hurt and not within his right mind. They are very smart creatures."
Did he say his inability to protect us?
Correct. He is kind of the host. He's hosting you, and part of his thing is to get you guys there. And in his mind, he's kind of failed his charge. Even though you're Emerald Champions or Emerald Magistrates and you're the Topaz Champion, it's like the crab's hospitality. He should have had like a guard of 15. Even though you guys are within the realm of the crab, he should have had more. But he thought he could get you there, and his misjudgment. So he's kind of blaming himself. And it looks like he's going to do more than just talk to his daimyo about it. He
I'm
just
gonna
lost
tell him,
a real good friend of his, and he's you know that his spirits are low.
Look, Hite, some bad stuff went down. No one's going to question that, but we're all alive. Even the Eddas are alive.
I still must report it. It is my duty.
Report it, but be fair to yourself is all I'm saying. You did complete your mission.
He kind of, come, let us go. And as you guys are going, you probably got another hour to go, but now you see light kind of in the distance. Again, you've got hills and forests and different things. And you guys are cresting a small incline. And as you guys go, you see it's kind of brighter and brighter as you're getting closer. Hita's riding a bit further, but he's staying with you guys. He's talking. You know that he is there and he's present. And as you guys are passing trees and going up, you guys notice that with what he told you and kind of the map that you've kind of read, you guys haven't taken any unless you did, then I'll give it to you. But basically, you guys are traveling south. And from where you guys are at, you're going to have to go a little further south and then travel a little bit to the west. And then that's where the castle is. But you guys are probably, as soon as you crest this area, you're going to see the castle area a little further off and the wall itself. And as you guys crest this hill, you see a massive bonfire. You see it looks like a swarm coming up over the wall, and you see tiny little bodies. It looks like there's a battle happening, and that's where we'll cut it. As you see creatures coming over the wall, you see the crab on the wall fighting, repelling off these creatures, and you hear a big roar happen as this is going on, as you guys are cresting the hill, and you see this before you. The wall is still tall enough you can't really see over it, but you see on top is there's a pitched battle on top of the wall and the battlements, and you see small beings, i.e. Unbeknown, it looks like goblins. You guys wouldn't know that from some of your studies. You might, especially you, Ide, since you've studied and have some Shadowlands. It looks like little goblins are falling off the wall, but as they hit, they get up. Some of them don't. Some of them have died, but they get up, and you see crab fighting on the ground. It looks like a small door, maybe 7 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and it looks like you can see something on the outside of it, right either side of the Shadowlands. Something's pushing against that door, and you see crab pushing against it. You see off in the distance a fireball happen. You can't see it, but it lights up the sky. So it looks like a full pitched battle on this side of the wall, and probably another half-hour ride from where you guys are at. You see Kunhita, the castle, and it looks like they're sending troops over. It looks like this whole side of the wall is having a pitched battle.
And I'll just turn to one of my Etta, and I'll say, string that Umi. And so I need my bow strung immediately. And that's all I say is, seems like this scene's playing out.
Okay. We'll go to Ide. What are your thoughts as you're cresting this? And you guys will be coming down onto the valley floor area towards the wall. As you see this happening, it looks like a pitched fight. There's probably hundreds of people involved on both sides.
I'm going to draw the legendary weapon of the Moto, my scimitar, and hold it forward like I'm about to initiate a cavalry charge. And I'll look at the unicorn and just smile. I'll look at the battle maiden, rather, the Utaku.
She just kind of shakes her head, like boys. But she looks like she's been preparing herself, and we will end it there as you guys are face to face with a wall battle.
Awesome game.
I hope everyone had fun. Those that are watching it later, I hope you enjoyed. We will kick it off probably next week, same time. You guys want to say anything before we kill the broadcast? Go right ahead.
I'm like Justin said, awesome. Like the goblins, man. It's so cool.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys. And I'll stop it.